Hello and welcome back to my studio. It's Lois here from Lois and Morgana Davidson Art. It's a lovely, bright, cold, chilly January morning here, so I thought I'd share this winter demo and I hope you enjoy painting it. So today I'm going to be using a limited palette of cobalt blue, lavender, Payne's grey, burnt sienna and a bit of sepia. I like to use a limited palette because it keeps things simple and harmonious, and I can mix nearly all the colours and shades and tones that I need from that limited palette. It's worthwhile practicing with a limited palette and finding your own colours that you really enjoy using, that you really feel drawn to, and you'll find it much easier working with colours that you're comfortable with. So I'm going to be using Milford cold pressed watercolour paper. It's taped to my board and my board will be at an angle of about 20 to 30 degrees when I paint. I'm going to start off by simply sketching out the scene in a very simple way, just picking out the main shapes like the winter trees, the horizon line, kind of getting in the river in the right kind of perspective. I'll speed that up because it can take quite a while, and so you can just sort of see the way that I'm just using very simple lines to describe the main features that I want to paint. And then this will be a good guide for me as I come in with my washes of paint, and I can sort of see where I need to go with the sky, the land, the river and the trees. Pause the video here if you're interested in copying or referring to the sketch. Then I'll be painting the sky wet on dry, which means I won't be pre-wetting my sky. I will go straight in with the blue and the grey and try and get that sort of lovely atmosphere where we see a bit of blue sky and then the grey winter clouds looming across the horizon. And then I'll continue to get in my snow and my riverbanks and then leave it to dry at that point. I'm using the palette knife to scrape in a few sort of reed shapes and suggestions in the foreground, just a few here and there, and then I'm going to go through the dampish paint in the sky. It's still a little bit damp, and just etch in a few paler marks while I can. And now I'm going to leave it to dry completely and then come back and continue with the painting and adding the final details. So just time for a quick plug for my new book, Landscapes in Watercolor, that has lots of in-depth information on techniques, lots of tips, and 10 projects, including I think 4 or 5 line and wash projects that I'm hoping you'll really enjoy doing. So now that the painting is dried, I'm going to use a large wash brush to wet the river area, and then I shall paint that in and try and get a few sort of hints of the sky reflecting into the river, that sort of thing. And then I'll continue and swap to detail brushes and a small rigger brush and paint in the trees. As I paint the finer branches and twigs using the rigger brush, I'm letting the paint run out on the brush so that I get faint marks and even dry brush marks towards the end, and taking the pressure off the brush gives me finer lines. So I've painted in the distant trees on the left, and I've used a paler greyer, sort of bluer grey than the foreground trees or the main trees, and I'm just going to put in a few sticks and twigs here and there, a few more reeds poking out of the snow in the foreground, and just a little bit more around these main trees over here on the right. So I'm keeping my brushwork really loose for the trees, not worrying if the marks are sort of a bit inaccurate, that I'm not going over my pencil lines. Remember, the pencil line is just a guide. I'm working on the painting and trying to sort of fill out the trees in a way that looks the way I want them to. So I'm going to call that finished now and remove the tape and have a look at it and see how it looks with its clean white border, and see if I've missed anything out. It helps me to see it with fresh eyes. As soon as I remove the tape, it makes the painting look more finished, and in that way I can see if there's anything else I need to do. And I think I just need to put a sort of a suggested reflection of the trees into the river. I think the river also looks like a road, but I'm not going to be trying to correct that because I think that would just overwork the painting. I'm going to be leaving it like this, and next time I paint a river I'm going to be trying out putting a few sort of horizontal lines across it towards the end, and just see if those sort of marks will give it more of the look of a river. But at the moment I'm quite happy with this. It's sort of got a less is more kind of charm to it. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much to everybody that supports this free to view channel on Patreon. We really do appreciate you, and we've got some great exclusive content over there, and also all the videos are there advert free for our patrons on Patreon. So if you're interested in supporting the channel, why not take a look at the links below. I'll see you again soon. Take care and happy painting. Bye.